Welcome to Catch It Live Sports. I'm Jimmy James, and today we're taking a deep dive into Wisła Krakow's preparations for life back in the Ekstraklasa. After 4 long years away, Wisła are finally back where many supporters believe they belong. The promotion celebrations were fantastic, but now they are over. The serious work starts here. Now, Wisła have already made their first signings, several players have departed, key contracts have been extended, pre-season is about to begin, and one huge question still remains. Can this Wisła squad survive and thrive in the Ekstraklasa? Well, today we'll look at the departures, the arrivals, the players staying, the biggest concerns, and where I honestly think Wisła could finish this season. Before we start, everything I mention as facts comes from official club announcements or established Polish media. If I discuss rumours, I'll make it clear that they are just rumours. Right then, let's get into it. The first thing that's become clear since promotion is that Wisła are taking a very different approach from many of the promoted clubs. Normally a team comes up, they panic, sign 10 or 12 players, and it completely changes the dressing room. 6 months later, they're fighting relegation. Well, Wisła don't appear to be doing that. Jarosław Królewski, he's spoken several times about keeping the core of the promotion winning squad together, and personally, I think that's the correct decision. Promotion, it wasn't a fluke. This wasn't a lucky team that somehow kind of stumbled over the line. This was a squad built specifically to get back into the Ekstraklasa. You know, they showed quality, resilience and adaptability throughout the season. That doesn't mean everything went perfect, far from it. One issue that concerned me throughout last season was playing the ball out from the back. We saw too many sloppy mistakes, too many poor decisions. And while mistakes happen, repeating the same mistakes is a warning sign. The Ekstraklasa punishes errors much more severely than the Betclic 1 Liga. That has to improve. Now let's start with the departures. One of the biggest exits is goalkeeper Anton Chichkan. To be honest, I don't think many people should be surprised. He wasn't starting regularly, and often he wasn't even making the bench. At his age, I think he was 31, coming 32. Moving elsewhere to play regular football, it made perfect sense. What made the situation more significant, though, was the departure of our reserve goalkeeper, Kamil Broda. Suddenly, Wisła are left with Patrik Letkiewicz as their only recognised senior goalkeeper. Yes, he was the number 1, but he was the only keeper left. Now, thankfully, the club have moved quickly. Letkiewicz signed a new contract until 2028, by the way, and Wisła have now brought in Marcel Łubik on loan from FC Augsburg. Now, this looks like an excellent piece of business from Wisła. Łubik is only 22 years old, but already has experience in both the Betclic 1 Liga and, importantly, the Ekstraklasa. Last season at Górnik Zabrze, he played 33 matches, he kept 10 clean sheets, and he helped the club lift the Polish Cup. At 1.9 metres tall, he's pretty physically imposing. He's comfortable with the ball and looks exactly the type of goalkeeper that a promoted club like Wisła need. I'd say the goalkeeping department now looks considerably stronger than it did a few weeks ago. Elsewhere, Joseph Colley, he's left the club. And yes, Ardit Nikaj has also departed. I'm not spending too long on that one because some wounds are still fresh. You probably know my thoughts about the way he was treated, and it's a missed opportunity for Wisła as a club. He had some talent in my view, and we just let him go. Now let's move on to the players who have stayed. In many ways, these decisions are more important than the new signings. Jordi Sánchez remains at the club. I think that's really, really important. He's not perfect, and I don't see him starting 30 matches this season, but he offers something different. His physical presence gives Wisła another option, when the games become difficult. James Igbekeme staying may be even more important. The Ekstraklasa is faster, stronger and tactically more demanding. Midfield battles often decide whether promoted clubs survive or not. Igbekeme brings a calmness, experience and leadership. The challenge is that he can't carry the midfield alone like he sometimes did last season in the Betclic 1 Liga. He's going to need support, and that's where players like Carbo, Duda and Ardit to become crucial. Personally, I'm really interested to see Ardit this season. Going forward, he has genuine quality. If his defensive game continues to develop, he could become a really important player for Wisła. Now, let's talk transfers. The headline signing so far is Maxence Maisonneuve. He's a 27-year-old French centre-back arriving from Belgian side Ral Lelouvier. Now, this isn't a glamorous signing. You're not going to see supporters rushing onto YouTube to watch a 10-minute skills compilation. But honestly, these are the exact signings that a promoted club needs. He's tall, he's experienced, he's physically strong, and he's played regularly at a good level. And perhaps most importantly, he looks ready to contribute straight away. Wisła, we don't need projects right now. We need somebody who is good to go, and he fits that bill. They need players who can help them survive in the Ekstraklasa from day one. Everything coming out of Poland suggests defensive reinforcements remain a priority, and I completely understand why. If Wisła are going to survive comfortably, they need to stop giving away soft goals. The margins in the Ekstraklasa, they are tiny. Defend well and you have a chance. Defend badly and you're going to be in trouble. Now, let's talk about what I think is the biggest unknown heading into this season. Mariusz Jop. First of all, he deserves an enormous amount of credit. Promotion doesn't happen by accident. The pressure on him last season, it was huge. Every result was analysed, every decision questioned, every mistake discussed. Yet he delivered promotion. But now comes a completely different challenge. Can his football work in the Ekstraklasa? And honestly, nobody knows. Not me, not you. Possibly not even Jop himself. This is completely new territory. Managing Wisła in the 1 Liga is one thing. Competing every week against stronger Ekstraklasa sides is something entirely different. Will he remain aggressive? Will he become more pragmatic? Will Wisła continue playing on the front foot football? Or will they sit deeper and counter-attack? These are fascinating questions, and pre-season may give us our first clues. Speaking of pre-season, I would urge supporters not to become too obsessed with results, and I'm talking to myself as well when I say that. Every summer we see teams, they win every friendly game and then struggle once the season begins. What is going to matter is learning, fitness, partnerships, tactical understanding, identifying weaknesses before the competitive matches start. That's what I'm going to be watching. So where does that leave Wisła today? Well, promotions achieved, key players retained, further recruitment likely. Excitement is building. But also genuine challenges lie ahead. Now, for my prediction, do I think Wisła will challenge for the title? No. Do I think they'll be relegated? Also no. I think a realistic objective should be establishing themselves comfortably in the Ekstraklasa. Finish clear of danger, build stability, create foundations, then push forward in future seasons. Promotion wasn't the end journey for Wisła. It was just the beginning. And for the first time in 4 years, Wisła Kraków have the opportunity to prove they belong among Poland's elite once again. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Where do you think Wisła will finish? Which positions do you think still need strengthening? Who's going to be Wisła's most important player this season? And can Mariusz Jop successfully make the jump to the Ekstraklasa? Let me know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And join us throughout the pre-season as we follow Wisła Krakow's return to the Ekstraklasa. I am Jimmy James. Thanks for watching Catch It Live Sport, and I'll see you on the next one.